Welcome back. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George says transmission of COVID-19 has widened to other districts and that cases have been from various sectors and workplaces like ministry departments, supermarkets, banks, hotels, the NIC and the airport. These high human traffic areas have led to intense contact tracing and investigation to establish links to previous cases. Genevieve Gonzague has more.
As the number of confirmed cases reported by the Ministry of Health continue to increase, anxiety and speculation within the public domain also increases. St. Lucia has recorded 76 confirmed cases thus far, majority of which are from the northern and eastern parts of the island. During a sit-down on the hot seat with host Crystal Riviere, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George explained that new cases span across a wide section of industries and workplaces.
To date, we have had to investigate and do contact tracing for cases from many different areas. The hotel, we've had the gym, we've had the school, we've had government ministries, we've also had call centers, fire service, airport workers, and aircraft communities, bars, the bus. I don't know if I said supermarket as well. It's been, yes, so we've had to deal with a number of services and doing contact tracing.
Health officials have confirmed that an airport employee was among the recent number of confirmed cases. National epidemiologist Dr. Michelle Fossoir said the case is very concerning and that contact tracing is underway.
She is one of our newest cases. The process of contact tracing has begun. We are trying to identify the link to that particular case, whether she was linked to any of our other positive cases. Her very job, number one, puts her at risk because she's in contact with visitors, but she's also in contact with the general public. So we have it going both ways. And the key here is identifying, number one, the source of infection, as well as trying to put to limit further spread by identifying her contacts.
On Wednesday, the first 2 cases from Labrie were announced, and the Chief Medical Officer highlighted the need for responsible action given the widening in transmission of the virus across the island. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
The National Workers Union is pledging its full support toward all efforts currently being undertaken aimed at the recovery of the tourism sector. The NWU says it will continue to cooperate and defend that sector, considering that the union has a sizable membership within the tourism industry. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
The tourism sector is on the receiving end of support from none other than the National Workers Union, who has pledged its full support towards all efforts currently being undertaken aimed at the recovery of the hotel and tourism sector. Joanne Harewood, who is the Secretary General of the NWU, said the union has been lending its support to the sector for the past couple of months, and this is something that they intend to continue.
Tourism really and truly is the economic mainstay of our country, and we have hundreds of thousands of workers employed within that sector. So essentially, these are persons that have been out of work now for several weeks, several months, and we've seen now with new protocols that have been implemented by the Ministry of Health, the Chief Medical Officer, etc., that sector of the economy is poised for some sort of gradual opening come November, December this year. So it is something that we've understood the plight of that sector now for the last 8 or 9 months. And going forward, we want to give as much cooperation and as much support and guidance as we can to that sector, to our hotel and tourism partners who have been reeling from the COVID-19 pandemic now for quite some time.
Harewood said the union is also bearing in mind the lurking dangers of COVID-19 in the sector. He indicated that the union is also pushing for protocol to be followed closely.
We've been hearing the word now frontline workers now for quite some time, and traditionally I guess it's confined to hospital workers, doctors and so forth. But for all intents and purposes, if you really look at it and dissect it, hotel and tourism workers are kind of frontline workers too, given the seriousness the tourism sector plays in the country now and the exposure that the hotel workers have to not only foreign guests, but the COVID-19 virus as well. So it's something that we've been talking about with hotel partners that we've had discussions with as it relates to safety practices, proper PPEs, protective equipment and so forth, ensuring that at least the workers know what the protocols are, and as best as possible they can follow it. They're in a position to ensure that they secure themselves and obviously their families and so forth.
The NWU expressed hopes that St. Lucia's economic situation will continue to improve. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Residents of La Pelle Dennery can expect some delays as the Ministry of Infrastructure partners with workers from the area to rehabilitate one of the community's most degraded roads. Contractor Anthony Richards spoke with Hot 7 TV on the roadworks taking place, expressing relief that something is finally being done as the road has been in a poor condition for nearly 2 decades.
Local contractor Anthony Richard is appealing to residents of La Pelle Dennery to bear patience with his team as they undertake roadworks in the area. He says his team is eager to rehabilitate the community's road, which has long been neglected.
The community will not be affected, but the community will be very, 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 very happy and pleased to see the construction of this road. It is a road that has not been constructed or not even looked at almost 20 years. And they've been asking and begging for it. And finally, the government has heard the cry, and the government have decided to give them this road.
Richard says he does not expect any major inconvenience to be caused to residents during this project and suggests that alternative routes be utilized in the event of a mandatory road closure.
I don't think there will be any road closure for this project. If there is, actually there is another end to this road which is going to take you to the main road. So with this, the residents can actually travel from Vieux Fort or to Castries.
He extended thanks to the Ministry of Infrastructure for seeing the need to support this project. Richard anticipates that the road will be completed before year's end. Jacques Widding, Hot 7 News.
Stay with us. Our special Moi Heritage Creole feature, sports and weather are all coming up after the break.